All right, we've got another example of finding the zeros of a polynomial function, right? And of course, what you would end up doing, you can go right into actually putting this into your calculator, and you'd actually end up getting 2 zeros from it. But I'm going to do something first. I'm actually going to factor out an x, because every item in there, every term in there has an x in it. So if I factor out an x, I've got x times 3x cubed minus 16x squared plus 17x minus 60 from this first x, right? Because remember, you are setting these, like you're setting this equal to 0 in order to solve for the zeros. What you're going to do is this first x right here, that gives you x equals 0. That's one of your answers. You found it already. So then you can actually go ahead and take just this and plug that into the calculator and find another 0 off of that. So when you plug 3x cubed minus 16x squared plus 17x minus 60 into the calculator in your y equals, and you go to your graph and you see where it's crossing, and if you can't tell exactly where it is crossing from the graph, you always go to your table. You would actually find a 5. 5 is another 0 for that. So then you can do synthetic division with that. So it's 3, a negative 16, a positive 17, and a negative 60. Bring your 3 down. 5 times 3 is a 15. Negative 16 plus 15 is a negative 1. 5 times a negative 1 is a negative 5. 17 plus a negative 5 is a 12. And then 5 times 12 is a positive 60, and you get a 0 there. And that's good. That's exactly what we wanted. So then you've got 3x squared, because remember, this was x cubed. So 3x squared minus 1x plus 12 equals a 0. That is not going to, oh, yay, the whole thing, actually. All right, so that is not going to factor. I need my pen back. There we go. So I'm going to do synthetic division, or not synthetic division, quadratic formula. So x equals the opposite of b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4 times a times, ooh, that's a plus 12, yeah. So 4 times a times c, that's a positive 12 right there, okay? That's going to be all over 2 times a, okay? So then I have, I'm going to go up to the upper corner here. X equals, oops, maybe I'm going to go up to the upper corner. X equals a positive 1 plus or minus. When you do this underneath, you get a positive 1. Oops, I thought I switched. Okay, there we go. Positive 1, because negative 1 times negative 1 is positive 1, minus 4 times 3 times 12. Well, 4 times 3 is 12, times 12 is 144. So it's going to be a 1 minus 144. So it's actually going to be a negative 143. Okay, and you can, of course, just go to your calculator and do that. Negative 143 all over a 6. The only thing that's going to actually work with this is not going to break down. So it's not going to, you're not going to simplify that radical in any way other than taking care of that negative. Remember, when you have that negative, it's going to be x equals 1 plus or minus I is coming out of there. I know my I looks funny. I'm sorry. So then I times radical 143 over 6. So you actually get 4 answers. I'm going to circle them in purple, maybe, if I get the purple. There we go. X equals 0 we got just by factoring an x out to start with, right? That's we got from starting here. X equals 5 we got from our calculator, and then 2 of these, 1 plus I radical 143 over 6, and 1 minus I radical 43 over 6. So there's your 4 answers.